Hello everyone, welcome to today's video, which will be based on Chieftronic G1, which is powered by Chieftec, and actually an old school manufacturer, case manufacturer that I remember like maybe 15-20 years ago. And they have something new, well, it's already out, but something new and cool with reversed interior of the chassis. You have a power supply shroud at the top. So today we're going to go more into details about the Chieftronic G1 with the compatibility, parts, details, specifications, and of course benchmarks. So let's go. Today we have a quite interesting case with a side tempered glass, which it looks pretty dark tinted, but when you turn on your RGB and stuff like that, you'll have a clear view of the interior if you decide to have something like that. Of course, the whole case is steel, and as they stated in their product sheet, it's 0.8 millimeter thickness. Now, as stated, it's completely reversed, so you don't have a power supply shroud at the bottom, you have it on the top. So the power supply goes right here, and you have loads of space for the cable management. As well as on the far right side, you have a possibility to place 3.5 inch hard drive or additional 2.5 inch SSD, which is quite alright, and you still have loads of space for arranging your cables. Now, to remove the side tempered glass, you have two thumb screws, which are quite easy to untie, and you just pop out the tempered glass. As you can see, it is really tinted a bit darker, so you will have, let's say, if you don't have any RGB or lights, you'll notice the difference, of course, between light and dark tinted tempered glass. When it comes to compatibility of the CPU tower coolers, you can go up to 160 millimeters, and the GPU clearance is up to 400 millimeters of clearance. At the front, you can place two 120 or two 140 millimeter fans, or up to 280 millimeter radiator. When we're talking about the bottom part, you have a possibility to easy clean your dust filter at the bottom if you decide to place fans at the bottom. And the cool thing about it is you can place either three 120 millimeter fans for your intake and create some sort of a chimney effect, or either just go with the radiator if you go with a custom loop, since you know the bottom part radiator in AIOs is not recommended. So at the bottom you can go with 360 radiator in a custom loop, but only with the micro ATX motherboard, because it doesn't have enough space for connectivity. When we're talking about the front side, as already stated, you have the possibility for those fans that I mentioned, but let's talk about this front side. So flipping the case, you can see you have two addressable RGB LED strips, and you have two intakes on both sides of the case. The LED RGB strips are connected to the controller at the back, so they use basically standard 5 volts 3-pin addressable RGB header. Now the controller at the back is completely something different, because you need to have a specific fan connection to connect your fans. So either go with the Chieftec fans that you already have one at the back, which is addressable RGB 120 millimeter, and get additional Chieftec fans, or you could just go with random fans that you wish and desire, and simply connect everything to your motherboard with some sort of a splitter. As stated, at the back, at the rear, you can go with maximum 120 millimeter fan, which is already included inside the case. Now, as you can see, I placed Noctua NH-U12S Redux Edition, and it fits perfectly. The tempered glass can be closed nicely. There's an MSI RTX 2070 armor, which you have loads of space in the front for, as I said, you could do a quite nice custom loop here, because you have loads of space here for a tube reservoir with a pump, so something that Quantum Kinetic from EK water blocks can fit completely nicely, or you could go with the FLT. It's all up to you. Now on the other side you have a possibility for nice cable management in the power supply shroud, and then just reroute the cables where they need to go. Two 2.5 inch SSD brackets at 2 and two 3.5 inch hard drive brackets, which is really cool to have loads of storage. Now the only thing that I see here a bit of a, I won't say a mistake, a small flaw. As you can see at the top, I have an issue connecting the two 8-pin cables going to the motherboard, so I had to reroute them above the motherboard heatsink and then through the hole up here. Maybe I could go with the hole that was nearer, but I already placed the power supply in, and that was my mistake. So yeah, the cables must be seen at the top, since when you place the power supply, it covers the hole where the intake of the fan for the power supply is. So yeah, that's a bit of a downside, I would say. But side grommets, rubber grommets are red, so it's cool to go with their color scheme, I would say. And they're nicely placed, as well as the button holes for the HD audio, USB 2.0 for your controller, and if you add some additional controller and similar stuff like that. Now for the temperatures, the Noctua NH-U12S with dual fan had kept a nice flow and gave the cooling to the processor, even in I would say inverted power supply shroud design of a case. A quite nice cooling with 65.5 Celsius degrees on average with full load, and 50.5 Celsius degrees on 50% load. As for the graphic card, this graphic card basically it's like it's locked on 68 to 70 Celsius degrees on constant work, so you don't have to worry about GPU temperatures as long as you, or CPU temperatures, as long as you place two 120 or two 140 millimeter fans. So guys, yeah, even with the inverted power supply shroud, it's all about your personal preferences, of course. But I found it quite interesting, since it has loads of clearance just with this format, I would say. There's nothing literally to say against it, except for the 8 pins at the top that have to be rerouted above the cooler. But if you do a nice cable management, I think you could handle it quite nicely. So guys, Chieftronic G1 powered by Chieftec is a quite interesting case. Gives you loads of possibilities, loads of functions, and of course the controller at the back can give you possibility to arrange the lights as you wish. If you want to have some certain RGB parts that go crazy. Of course you get a remote control, so you could control it remotely. You don't have to access it from the back side of the case, which is cool. At the top I would also like to add that you have two 3.5mm jacks for your microphone and for your headset. You have two USB 2.0 and you have USB 3.0 generation 1. One button for your RGB adjustment, so again you don't have to go with the controller, and you have the power on button. That's it. So guys, thank you for watching today's video with Chieftronic G1. I'm placing the links below if you find this format interesting, so you can check out the prices, and that's all there is to it for today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment below, and I'll see you in another one. Bye bye.